Yo, so lately I've been thinking of like the self-improvement community and how it can really be toxic for a lot of us. I used to be a part of this kind of community, and when I say self-improvement community, it's kind of like, the people who are like how to be productive, how to make money, how to get girls and things like that. I'm kind of talking about that community. I feel like it started off good and then it's sort of gone down this path where it just makes a lot of us really stressed out. And I was definitely one of those people where if I wasn't doing everything to a T during the day, I would just label the day as being unsuccessful and terrible and useless and that I was kind of like a failure. So I kind of developed this mindset for myself that if I didn't perfect every single day, then I was inferior, I was pathetic, and I was just a failure at life. And I think a lot of guys fall for this trap, and I call it a trap because I really do think that at this point it does more harm than good. You start off like, okay, I want to improve myself, I want to get better at whatever, I want to make money. That's cool, right? Like, we want to get better, we want to make money and things like that. But you go down this rabbit hole where you continuously stress yourself out about, I have to do this, I have to do this. If I don't do this, I'm a loser. If I don't do this, then I'm not worthy of anything. And it's like this kind of mindset gets reinforced when you watch these videos of guys like these motivational reels and videos and things like that, of just like, oh, you have to be grinding all the time, you have to ignore everybody and just do your own thing. I just don't think that's like realistic, to be quite honest. And I don't want to say like I've had this divine realization or anything, but I feel like I've just kind of matured out of that lifestyle. Hey, dim this light a little, it's kind of making me blind right now. I feel like you get to a stage where you get so stressed out with this whole mindset of just being perfect and trying to perfect everything in your life, like waking up at 5 a.m. and doing cold showers. And it's like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I've done that stuff for a period of time. And like, if you want to do it, go for it. I mean, it's going to build your discipline, certainly. But a lot of the time, this creates stress for a lot of us, and it causes us to kind of be angry and resentful. And we kind of just look at the world in like a negative way. And because of that, so many people are just like falling into mental problems and like just depression and being pissed off at everything. And I just don't think that's a good way to live, because like, let's say you're kind of like me, you're 18, 19, maybe even younger. How long do you intend to grind like this? And what do you intend to grind for? Because I've already gone down the path. I've already done so many difficult things that most people think have no purpose. Like, I've woken up early, I've done the cold showers, I've done the push-ups, I've done the 2-hour deep work sessions. I've done all of these things. Okay? And what has it really given me? Okay, because fundamentally, obviously, as humans, we seek pleasure. So to not indulge in pleasure, we kind of need something, kind of like a delayed pleasure that comes after we engage in these difficult tasks. So these difficult tasks usually have a reason for it. We usually have a reason for doing them. And for a lot of young guys, though they probably don't want to admit it, the main reason they're doing all this is for female attraction. That's just the reality of it. And because we get so resentful and like just stressed out about what we have to do, again, like, we just shelter away from the world. We don't talk to people. We don't do anything. And we just think that this grind is going to get us out of this hole. It's going to get us out of here. When in reality, we're digging a bigger hole for ourselves. And I think this is where the toxicity of self-improvement or whatever is really I can't even speak right now. I just had like a 5-hour day outside working out, and I'm just like dead tired right now. But when you think about men in the past, like the really successful guys that you always look up to as like symbols of masculinity, I don't really think they're the types of guys who wake up at 5 a.m. and do cold showers and like run 100 miles just for the sake of it. And it's like, those are cool things to do. They're pretty badass. But if they're making you stressed out and miserable, and you wake up every morning, you're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, and you're so stressed out about yourself. And at the end, you probably just don't do them because, let's be honest, you really don't want to do them. And you're like, what's the point? There's nothing behind me doing these things. So if there's no purpose for me to suffer, I'm not going to suffer. And you might think you're hardcore and you're not going to do that. And you probably won't for a couple days, weeks, maybe even months if you're really disciplined. But at some point, you're going to collapse. And you're just going to go back to kind of being a normal guy. I think a lot of times our body wants us to do things. But because of this modern culture of like reject weakness and don't listen to your mind, it's telling you to be lazy and things like that. And yeah, that's true. Like, I've said that in my videos a lot of times. Your mind wants you to be lazy and things like that. And I should clarify that I'm not against doing good habits and things like that. I'm not against going to the gym by any means. Like, I do all of these things myself. I'm studying pretty much all day, going to the gym, I'm reading as much as I can. I'm doing all these like good habits that these people on YouTube tell you to do all the time, but I don't do it. But I don't do them because people are telling me to do them. I do them because I enjoy them. I do them because I feel like they're worthy of my time. Like they're actually worth me doing it. And obviously, you're not going to get rid of stress entirely in your life. You're going to have stress, but why would you push yourself more and more into the stress when it's just going to make you worse of a person? And that's kind of what I feel like people don't, or guys don't really consider. It's like the whole point of improvement is to become a better person. And the best way to be a better person is to be kind of a man who's capable of wielding a sword, but chooses to keep its sheath. And on the outside, he's a kind, warm, compassionate guy, but he's also really strong inside, okay? When I think of strength as a man and like being the best version of yourself, that's what I think about. But what we're kind of being pushed to do right now is like go into this grind mode and just like work our asses off for really what reward? And you might be thinking, well, it's not for the reward, it's for the process, but you don't even like the process. You can't fool yourself into saying you like the process because you don't. So the reason I'm making this video is because for the longest time, I was so stressed about meticulously just getting everything right. So many days I'd wake up and I just like, I couldn't even explain it. Like I just didn't want to do any of this stuff. I kind of still pushed through and it was everything. Everything was great, I'm grateful for the discipline I received from doing these things, but you get to a point in your life, maybe it's when you get a little older, I don't know, but personally for me, where I am right now, I just don't think being that stressed all the time is necessary. What we want really as men, let's be honest, we probably just want a beautiful wife, family, chill. Want a jacked ass physique, want to look good, feel good. Like we just want, I don't think many of us want anything so exceptional that we have to stress our lives like crazy for it. Obviously, some of us do. We want to be the best at whatever, want to make a huge business. Okay, that's cool, but is it worth the stress you're going through? Is it worth sacrificing all this time you could have with friends, these memories you could be making? Because when I was in this kind of grind mode, it was mostly for my senior year of high school. I was in this grind mode. I was like, screw everything. I'm just going to work, work, work. And I didn't really achieve anything. If you really just look back, if you've been kind of in this grind mode for a long time, you look back and you're like, what have I really achieved? Okay. And I kind of take the physique and the gym out of the equation because the gym's always going to progress. The gym is, for me, it's fun. It's not really something like a chore I have to do. It's fun for me. It's like the best part of my day. So I take the gym out of the equation. I'm always going to be making gains, whether getting leaner, getting bigger, it doesn't matter. School, I take school out of the equation kind of. I'm like, okay, my marks improve? Not really. They kind of stay around a baseline because I'm already working at my maximum. Okay, what have I accomplished by doing this grind mode? Well, you could say I'm more disciplined, but here's the thing with discipline. You could think you're disciplined, but once you lose that mindset, or that grind mindset, and you go back to kind of just being chill, a little bit chill, again, I'm not talking about being lazy. I'm talking about chilling out a little bit. You'll see that you don't really have that discipline. What I've learned about discipline is that you can build it, but if you don't have the mindset backing the discipline, it's not going to do anything for you. If you don't have the desire to achieve something, if you don't have an ambition or something behind the discipline, it's useless. Okay, there's no pure discipline for no reason. What I've experienced is that discipline without backing is completely useless and it doesn't do anything. So you think that by being in this grind mode, you're building up your discipline, and you are, but once you get out of this grind mode, which eventually you are, you're not going to grind for the rest of your life like you are now. You're not going to die alone by yourself in a freaking dungeon lifting weights. Like, do any of you want that? No, you're doing it because you want the end goal. But a lot of us are too scared to actually go out into the world and try and experiment and try and push past our limits in different contexts. We think it's just about grinding in our own stinky little rooms, trying to build a business. That's not what it should be about. I feel like it should just be about going out, meeting people, and trying to like build your character in a community. I feel like that's part of being a man. That's part of being strong that a lot of people don't understand. They just think it's be in your room, grind all the time, and focus, and put your hoodie up, and don't listen to anybody. And I've done that. I told you, I did that for like my entire senior year of high school. What good memories do I have of that year? Basically none. What did I gain in that year? Basically nothing. I didn't really build my discipline. Like, yeah, I can study better now and whatever, but I didn't really spend time with my friends. Now they're all off in different schools and different universities and things like that. I didn't meet that many new people. I didn't talk to my teachers and make connections. I didn't go out into the world and try and be a man, like an actual man, like someone who has a presence and like a personality and a character. I hid myself in this room thinking I was being productive and working hard when I wasn't. And obviously, like, there's a degree of kind of regret, but the mindset I have is like, this happened for a reason. I just have to learn from it. And God put me through this trial to learn from it. So I'm going to take what I can from it and use it for the next stage of my life. And I'll make a separate video on that kind of mindset. I think it's very powerful if you can implement that. But the main point of this video is, as I've mentioned, grinding is cool. That whole mindset of just like putting your hoodie up and just focusing on yourself to some degree can work. It depends what stage of life you're in. And for certain things, it can work as well. But I absolutely do not think that that is an excuse to hide yourself from the world, to be resentful, to be angry, and to be an emotional little rat. Sitting in your room on your chair, not talking to anybody, because that's not any way to live. If you've been doing this for a long time, really ask yourself, is this the life I want to live moving forward? Is what I'm doing right now, at least in some part, resemble where I want to be in the future? And if the answer is no, you need to reconsider what you're doing. What I would recommend is for at least a week, take a step back. Okay, you need to heal your body. You need to chill out a little bit. Keep up your good habits, especially the ones you like. Keep up going to the gym. Keep up, I don't know, whatever you like doing that is like somewhat useful. But just start talking to people. Start making friends. Start just going out and being a man instead of just hiding yourself in a room, okay? I hope you liked the video, bro. And I'll see you in the next one. Reject mediocrity and embrace mastery.